Hello everyone, Ash here and welcome to another off-brand Urkel video where I'm doing something slightly different today. I'm going to be going over the changes of the newly announced multi-pass lightning lane that was announced by Disney not long ago, which will be replacing Genie Plus on the 24th of July. So, multi-pass lightning lane, what does it mean? And how is it any different? Well, it still only pertains to the stateside parks, Disneyland Resort and Walt Disney World. More so Walt Disney World, is you'll be able to book your attraction reservations before you arrive at the park. If you're staying on site, you can make those reservations 7 days prior. And if you're not staying on site, you can only make reservations 3 days prior. If you are local and you live in Florida or, in Orlando, then you can still make same-day reservations. You don't have to do it beforehand. Now, you're only able to book 3 attractions to begin with. If you're pre-booking, there are 2 tiers. There is tier 1, where you're only allowed to pre-book 1 attraction. And then there's the second tier, of course, where you can book your remaining 2 attractions. Now, the ride tiers only pertain to pre-booking. Once you have arrived at the park, then you need to visit one of your pre-booked attractions. And once that has been taken off the list, then you're able to make other bookings to attractions in the parks. And you can continue that strategy throughout the rest of the day. So once you've done number 1, then you are eligible to make the 4th booking. Once you've done 2, then you're eligible to make the 5th booking, and so on. I don't think order matters as long as you've got just 3 valid bookings at all times. You're not allowed to repeat an attraction. I believe all of the parks from Magic Kingdom, Hollywood Studios and Epcot all have tier 1 and tier 2 when it comes to pre-booking. The only park that doesn't is Animal Kingdom. Now, attractions not available on the multi-pass lightning lane, i.e. it will be virtual queue still, or you need to pay extra still if you want to do a lightning lane, is Tron, Cosmic Rewind, 7 Dwarfs Mine Train, Rise of the Resistance, and Avatar Flight of Passage. Virtual queues for Tron and Cosmic Rewind will stay the same. This is, of course, all subject to availability. Now, as far as Disneyland Resort, we can see the difference on the tiers for what will apply to Disneyland Resort as opposed to Walt Disney World, and and it seems nothing will change for Disneyland Resort whatsoever. In fact, the only thing that's going to change is the name. But in terms of how it will change operationally, it still all remains the same in Disneyland Resort. Now, there are some pros and cons to this. Pros of this is a lot more accessible and simplified. Now, that's not a high bar when it comes to the old Genie Plus system, but it's still a plus, no pun. 2, getting to do this at the 7-day mark for resort guests while you're at home is much easier than having to have a game plan on the day and try to figure it all out. Much, much easier and much less stress. However, there is an asterisk to that, which I will get to soon. Cons is you need to know which parks you're going to be at every day, 7 days before your first visit, which if you like to take the chilled route, it's a bit of a nightmare. I had this problem when it came to dining packages, right? You had to book on a Tuesday at 3 o'clock, for example, that you want to eat at this particular restaurant. And it's kind of a similar approach to how this will be for the multi-lane lightning pass. So if you want to take a chilled stance, that can be difficult. 2, at this moment in time, and this is where the asterisk comes in for the pro, is you can't pre-book outside the United States. So if you are an international traveler, even if you're staying at a resort, you can't book 7 days in advance, which kind of screws you out of booking your attractions. Unless you're staying stateside, other than Walt Disney World, and then you're going to Walt Disney World afterwards, then that's possible. But for the majority of people that are traveling international, their main visit will be Walt Disney World, and that will be a day max before they then go to the parks. And by that time, all of what you would like to reserve may have already gone. So that is a con at the moment. Now, they may, and I hope so, that they are working on this, but it's something to watch out for. In terms of some Q&A to help understanding, I'm going to read some questions out and then give the answers to that. After you scan in your first multipass selection, will you be able to book another one from any tier level? Well, once you've entered the parks and you've gone on to one of your pre-booked ones, then there are no tier levels once you enter the parks. You can book another attraction and it will be all one tier. There won't be any levels. Can you still buy either multi or single passes the day of your trip? Or do you have to pre-buy? Oh, well, it's all based on availability, really. I mean, you don't have to do any of it, it's the same with Genie Plus currently. Some people choose to, some people don't. And that's totally up to you. You don't have to pre-book anything. Can I make 2 Lightning Lane reservations for the same ride in the same day? So, for example, you book, Everest, Dino, and you do something else, and then you book Everest again. The answer is no. You can't repeat attractions, fortunately. So no, you still can't do that. What time does booking open for 7 days before? I still believe it is at 7 a.m. Eastern US time. Will you be able to virtual queue the day of for rides like Tron and Cosmic Rewind? Yes, you can. Once you use your first Lightning Lane, would you be able to book another Tier 1 attraction if it's available? Yes, because essentially once you're in the park, there are no tiers and it's all the same. And so, yeah, you can book or be classified a Tier 1 when you're in the park. Can you cancel? And if so, at what point can you cancel? You can't cancel and you won't get your money back. You can modify, but you can't cancel. If you have a park hopper or annual pass, can you change your other 2 selections at a different park once you have used the first? Yes. So once you're in the park and you've gone to your first one, then you can make the other 2 at another park, provided you haven't pre-booked those 2 initially before you went into the park. Yeah, you can do that at another park. Or you can actually modify it. So yeah, you can do that at another park. Will there be a 2-hour rule for an additional Lightning Lane after you use the first and book the fourth? No rule whatsoever now when it comes to your Lightning Lane, your multi-pass Lightning Lane reservations. You can have up to 3 reservations at a time, and that will stay there until you use them for that day. But there is no, 120-minute rule, I think, is currently what it's like now for you to use that reservation, Lightning Lane reservation. Here's a good one. If our party is split on Walt Disney World property and not on property, will the on-property guests be able to book for the whole group 7 days prior? It would only be for the guests that are linked to the on-site booking that you would be able to do the 7 days in advance. So if the ones that are not on site are not linked to the reservation, then you weren't able to book 7 days in advance for them. All right, I hope I've answered some of your questions and I've been a bit of help. I know there'll be more information coming out as we go along, and hopefully some glitches and changes that inevitably will be resolved. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are to the new system coming up. If you've got a trip planned to Walt Disney World, what are you thinking? What are you feeling? And also, if you have any questions, I will try to do my best in answering them. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.